Hello, and thank you for joining me today as I make this card using circle sayings. Now, if you are very beady-eyed, you'll notice that I don't actually end up using white cards in this project. I started with an idea and then I changed my mind as it didn't work out. So I am stamping on Very Vanilla, which is the creamy colour from Stampin' Up. And I think I'm using copper clay possibly, and this 2¼ inch circle punch, which is now retired but it's very handy to have in your stash. Then using the alphabet, I'm using the numbers from this set, number 50, for my parents' 50th wedding anniversary card. And the handy thing about this set is got the alphabet and numbers as well to go with it. Coming in with that lovely mini blending brush and of course blending in some colour around the edge. This just really helps to lift the colour of the card and give it some edging. Coming in with Petal Park stamp set, and I'm just going to scooch over that 50, out you go. And Wild Wheat is the colour that I'm using to stamp down these leaves in the corner. So I'm going to swizzle this round and just stamp on the other side as well. And then going to fill it in with, I think this is crushed curry I'm using. And then I decided to go around the edges, still with that same stamp set, just to fill out some of the space around the edge too. And the great thing about this stamp set is that the flowers fit in perfectly inside. So I'm using Cajun Craze for the outline and pumpkin pie colour for the inside of the flowers. And again, just using those flowers to add more detail around the edges of the whole card. Then I felt like it needed a bit more of this wild wheat colour, so I'm coming in with this individual leaf that's still in that same set, and I'm going to use this to create a bit more dimension around the edges with this leaf outline. Just grouping them in two, stamping them a few times around the edges, and it just helps create that foliage like you're looking through a bush. Bringing in the number 50 as the centre point just to see how that looks, and then again coming around the edges with the blending brush. I don't think I added much colour on the brush at this point, and then I decided actually it could really do with some more, so I'm coming in with that colour again to add some more detail around the edge. So coming in with my next punch to act as a layer, and coming in with copper clay to just go behind that circle to help that pop. Coming in with my trusty bow punch and using this to create some leaves with the wild wheat card, getting right to the edges, and using my tweezers to create that nice 3D effect on the leaves, trying to decide where they should sit on my card. And then I thought it needed more colour, so in comes some Cajun Craze and then a couple of bits of pumpkin pie, just to bring all those colours together and make it look more cohesive. So testing out the colours of card here. Cajun Craze on crushed curry. Wasn't convinced. How about crushed curry and then Cajun Craze? I felt that this was too yellow. There was just something that didn't really work. Brought in wild wheat, which kind of toned it down and seemed to bring it back together, onto the Cajun Craze, and I think this is what I end up with, this combination. Then I was like, oh, it needs a bit more crushed curry, so tried these flowers, didn't work. Tried these hearts, thought they were too big, just again didn't quite work. So scrap the idea. And we get gluing. So if you're wondering about the colours, they were inspired by my parents. The colour scheme of the bridesmaids, and my dad's tie was like a black, but with these sort of bright autumnal colours, yellows, oranges, reds, that type of thing. So it's not completely like the same colours, but it's inspired by. So I made the silly decision of doing a blob of glue and then trying to stick all the leaves on top, but I work out better this time because I've got the silicone pad to help me at least, but the other side it just kept slipping around. Lots of dimensionals on the back just to make sure these don't move and they're nice and secure. And then I painstakingly cut out these tiny bits of dimensionals to position underneath the leaves so that some of them were slightly lifted up. Painstaking, yes. Worth it, absolutely. It's a special card for a special occasion. And then I'm coming in with these two butterflies to represent my parents, two little gold butterflies, and then adding in, I like adding detail on top of those dots that already exist on the stamp. Then I decided us three girls will fit in there as well. So we're represented by the 3 butterflies, followed by plenty of gold sequins, and then some centres for the flowers to help make them pop from these retired embellishments I had in my stash. And then what do I do next? Oh yeah, this is me trying to figure out where on earth should I put that embellishment. Yeah, so it ended up there and there. Okay, here's all the glitz and the glam. There we go, nearly complete. And then I found these. I was like, oh, these would look nice if I tuck them in here, and maybe another one on the other side. And I don't know, it just really sort of brought it to life. I really like adding those on. So I'm coming in with a piece of card just to cover up the numbers, because no card is complete without dottage, in the words of our dear lovely Glenna, who loves her dottage. Some people call it freckles, splatters, spottage. Yeah. So I'm hitting my alcohol blender pen over the top of the block, and it gives this splatter very carefully, like adding this glue pattern before I go ahead and stick that to the base of the card. And then while I had my stamps out, I said, why not do a pretty little insert to go in the card to match? Because you've got all the bits out, you might as well. There's the finished card. Here it is, and it got sent off to celebrate my parents' 50th wedding anniversary at the end of March. Thanks for watching.